Did you know that by doing something as simple as checking your lash work after every single service can lead to a much bigger clientele base? Can you believe that? I swear to you that when I started checking my lash work after every single service, my clients started saying things to me like, man, I can barely even feel my extensions, or these extensions lasted so well. And what was really cool is that I also started diving in and seeing the little tweaks that I can make and the things that I can really focus on that needed improvement. But I wouldn't have even noticed those things had I not started checking my work. By taking 10 to 15 minutes at the end of every service to check your work in depth can definitely make you money in the long run. I know initially it sounds like, well, I'm taking 15 minutes extra on top of my sets. Is this taking away from the time that I have to apply the lashes, or should I be charging my clients for this extra time? And the truth is, no, you shouldn't. You should view it as an investment, because if you're investing in making your work as good as possible, then trust me when I say that your clients will notice that difference, and that's gonna be the thing that brings clients back again and again and again. So it's definitely not a step that is worth skipping. So within this video, I run you through exactly how I check every single lash set. So I'm really excited to hear what you guys think, or if you already do this and what your experience has been with it. Before we dive into all the juicy details within this video, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell so that you get notified anytime we post a video. Step number 1, take your mascara wand and brush through the lashes. This is when we check for stickies. If you notice that the mascara wand gets stuck on any of the extensions, this means we really have to get in there and figure out where the problem is. Make sure that there's no lashes stuck together. Number 2, we're gonna take our tweezers and we're gonna go through all of the extensions. So if the mascara wand didn't hitch on something, but there's still a sticky, then the sticky would likely be closer to that base. So by flicking through all of the extensions, then we can make sure that no lashes are stuck together. This is really pushing comfort for our clients. Also, it's a good time to check and make sure that no lashes are just hanging on by a thread. We wanna make sure that the natural lash and the extension are perfectly flush together at the bonding point. If we don't have a really flush bonding point and that base really adhered to the natural lash, then our retention is not going to be very strong. I still do this after every single set, and I've been lashing for 7 years. You're also looking to make sure that none of the lashes are stuck to the skin. The lashes should be placed about 0.5 millimeters away from the skin. That's pretty close, but without touching. Looks like I have a lash stuck together. You can see here that I have 2 extensions stuck together. So in this particular situation, I'm just gonna hold on to both the extensions and glide them apart. Now, I lost a couple, so I'm just gonna go in and put a couple more lashes back in their place. I just wanna make sure that when I let go, they don't stick together again. So I'm taking my air blower and just making sure that they're all cured. This is also a good way to check and see how much coverage you truly got. I would say I got about 80% coverage today, definitely not 100% coverage, but that's pretty standard. I'd like to say that I get 100% coverage for every single client, but unless I am doing a set that's gonna take me quite a few hours, then it's not really realistic when you're in the middle of a busy lashing day. So what I do is apply lashes to the top layer and the bottom layer first, and then for the rest of the time that I have booked, I'll go ahead and place lashes on the remaining layers, like the middle layers. This is a good thing to see too. So another thing that we're looking for is that the base, as I've already said, the base is perfectly flush with the natural lash. This is a great example of an extension that will not last. So the more she brushes that, the lash is gonna come off just like that. So instead, we wanna see a lash that looks like this from the side. See how the base is perfectly flush? That extension should stick on the lash until that natural lash grows out naturally and sheds. So that's what we're looking for. The next thing we're looking for is our glue control. So do I have any chunks of glue at the base of my extensions? So chunks will look really shiny. So I'm just gonna place one on and show you what that would look like. Obviously I wouldn't do that on a client, but just to show you an example of what too much glue looks like on the lash. Firstly, it's not gonna last very well. And secondly, it's gonna take a really long time to cure. So if you use this much glue or somewhere even near that, then your retention will not be as good because the lash won't cure properly and it'll stick to lashes alongside it. Or it'll be too heavy for the natural lash and be uncomfortable. So I'm just gonna take my micro swab applicator and I'm gonna go ahead and wipe some of that glue off. And you'll also notice that when the lash has cured with that much adhesive on it, that it'll still be really shiny. Your glue area should look matte, not shiny. The next thing I'm looking for is direction. So how are my lashes flowing? And I can right off the bat see a lash that I would like to remove over here. So all of my lashes are flowing in really nice direction. It looks like the shape is nice. Nothing's flowing in a really strange way except for this lash right here. It's just not flowing in the direction that the other lashes are. So I'm gonna go ahead and find that lash because I'm willing to bet that it's not properly applied at the base. Okay, so I'm gonna find that lash, come in and see what's going on with it. Yeah, it's not properly applied to the natural lash. So I'm gonna remove that guy because it wasn't gonna last anyways and it's just throwing off my set. So now I'm ready to take the pads off. But first I'm just gonna go through my set as I would finish it off. So I'm gonna use my Super Bonder and my Nano Mister because it's gonna cure the lashes, it's gonna give me some good retention, it's gonna make the lashes more flexible for my client. So the thing with Super Bonder though is that if it gets in your client's eyes, it will not feel very nice. So we wanna saturate it, but not enough that it's dripping. And then you can take one of your glue wipes and just dab it so that it's not dripping. Then we're gonna take our micro swab applicator and just rub the product along the base of the extensions without touching the skin. Now I just have to wait 2 minutes for this to work its magic. Then I'm gonna take the pads off. Now when I take the pads off, before I do that, I wanna check to make sure that there's no stickies. Talking about stickies again, stickies are so important to avoid. So what I wanna do once this product has worked its magic is look underneath to make sure that no extensions are stuck to the pad. And how I'm gonna do that is use my nifty little Lost Artistry inspection mirror. To dry the product, I'm just gonna use my Lost Artistry Gluberator because it also subs as a fan. Make sure that her eyes are feeling okay before she opens up. I'm gonna do this for about 30 seconds per eye. Now I'm ready to check and see if there's any extensions stuck to the pad or any extensions stuck to the bottom lash line before I let her open up. To do that, I'm taking my inspection mirror and I'm just gonna lift the lashes to make sure that nothing is stuck. And there's not, so let's check this eye. And this is a good time to make sure that your extensions are placed about 0.5 to 1 millimeter away from that lash line. 1 millimeter is okay, 0.5 is ideal, but again, that's okay. If you have a client with a sensitivity or say you are a newer lash artist and don't feel comfortable getting 0.5 millimeters away, then 1 millimeter is totally fine. So I'm just looking, looks like all mine are placed okay. It does look like there's a wonky one on this inner corner here, so I'm gonna find that lash and make sure that it's placed properly. I think it's this guy. Let's get in there. Little lashes like that really make or break a set. Go. Now let's check one more time. Much better. Okay, we are good. So now I'm gonna go ahead, take the iPads off. Now I'm almost done, I swear. The last thing I get my client to do is squeeze their eyes tightly. Jessica, can you feel the extensions? Does it feel like anything's poking anywhere? Does it feel uncomfortable? No. They feel totally fine? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great. So that's a sure sign that all of the extensions are placed properly. So let's say the extensions weren't placed properly. Then what Jessica would feel would be a pinching sensation in a certain area. So if she had a couple lashes stuck together, or let's say the base of the extension wasn't perfectly flush with that natural lash and it was lifted, then she would notice that she would feel the base of the extension brushing against her lid, and that feels really uncomfortable. And you want your clients to feel as comfortable within their lashes as possible. So it's nice to do that check test, and not only does it help your clients, A, retention, B, the overall aesthetic and how they feel for your client, but if your client knows how much you care about the set of lashes that you're doing, then they want to come back and see you. So it's all around a positive thing. And now your client is ready to see what their lashes look like. So I usually hand off the mirror and say, open up.